update time. Not a lot to show and a lot of time spent, but the battery's in and it's all hardwired in with 50mm square cabling or O gauge, so there's no voltage drop. The harnesses for the entire chassis and engine has all been run. The one over there still needs some reflective sleeving like what was stock over the muffler on this side. That's still on the way, so that should take not very long at all to fit. Inside the cab not a lot has happened, but a lot of time has been spent under the bonnet. Continuing with the OME look for in the cab, under it and inside the engine bay, I've sourced these. These were once joined together as one piece but couldn't fit, from a Ford Explorer V8. This is the series for the right hand drive, so they had the cutout for the master cylinder, which works just as well for the Willys here as well. The plumbing has all been done, so there's nothing left. The last thing I just finished is the intake tube. So this is 90mm, 3.5 inch, which is the same as the stock throttle body. I'm running a K&N Dryflow filter because in our state a oiled one is allowed, but in other states it's not, so it's just easier to run a dry and then you don't have any sensor problems either. I find the oiled ones seem to attract as much oil to the outside, dirt to the outside as they do filter it anyway. So the wiring all looks fairly stock, but there used to be a big fat harness that went across here on both sides, so everything has been routed back around the firewall, and the fuse boxes now sit completely different. They used to sit over facing this way on top of the suspension tower, but there's just not enough room for it in this arrangement, so I've turned them sideways, made up all new brackets, and they all click into place. All the wires that had to be moved, things like, you know, the horn used to be on the opposite side, the washer bottle used to sit over here, stock inside the guard, which of course I don't have here. All the wires are run inside the existing loom rather than just run next to it. So there's a lot of work in doing that sort of thing. Another update is the LED headlights and brand new buckets have all been fitted. They're all from NARVA. They're made by Giant Light. These ones are ADR approved. So they dip to the left instead of the right. I don't know if you can pick up, oh, you can sort of pick up the name and part number. The GL is in the part number there is for Giant Light, who makes them for Nolden as well, and were used on the last of the Land Rover Defenders. I'm not sure if I've shown these on video before, but these are off a mid-50s Chev pickup and are all LED, and they're very nice cast and chromed surrounds and everything for those, so that's all wired in now. This has got daytime running lights, and also this can be used as a parker, high and low beam, etc. The horn's off a World War II Chevy Blitz truck. It's a 6-volt horn, but I'm running it on 12-volt, which makes it incredibly loud, which would be great to get the cows off the road when I'm out back touring. So that is the major thing going on so far. You can see I haven't done any in-cab wiring. That is just what happens when you need reroute the factory. They had a whole heap of excess wiring just taped up in a bundle, so I've just untaped it all, and I'll reconfigure that when I find a spot for the park assist. I think that's throttle control, which used to be under the back seat, which I don't have anymore. Nothing a lot has changed here. I've still got the only bit of wiring left on the chassis is once this is for the I've got the plug-in loom for that for the trailer. It's also got rear parking sensors, rear camera, and all the tail lights for this side, and I've got it on this side as well. But until I know what I'm doing as far as taillights and everything, I can't go any further from that concern. As far as wiring goes, this is my sleepy dog who's been swimming today. I've still got all that. I've gone through one of these containers already, and all that wiring has to go through, and it's just for inside the cab only. So there's a big job ahead of me, and it'll be a nice challenge. I don't mind it. Anyway, that gets you up to date for the moment.